Has Hollywood gone back to the drawing board? It has seemed like years have gone by with nothing released but franchise film after franchise film. Sequels, remakes, reboots, and worst of all, garbage agendas with poor stories and underwritten characters slapped together for a buck. Going into the year, we had little hope for change. And while it's true we have still seen a lot of franchise films and sequels, Hollywood seems to have shifted a bit. We've seen original films and franchise films that are not only fun, but honor the movies that came before. Originality may not be completely back in Hollywood, but enjoyable movies that don't berate you with idiocy seems to be returning. This week's newest release, and king of the box office, Alien Romulus, is but yet another franchise film released by Disney through 20th Century Studios. Directed by Fede Alvarez, who directed 2013's Evil Dead reboot and the cult horror hits Don't Breathe 1 and 2, Alien Romulus promised a return to the horror roots the franchise originally started out as in Ridley Scott's '79 film Alien. Scott himself serves as a producer for Romulus. Set between Alien and Aliens, the first and second films of the franchise, Romulus tells the story of Rain Carradine, played by Kaylee Spaney, living and working in a Weyland-Yutani mining colony, trying to earn enough to buy her freedom off-planet. Her closest friend and adoptive brother, Andy, portrayed by David Johnson, is a glitching synth whose only directive is to do what's best for Rain. When Rain's friends and colleagues inform her of an abandoned Weyland-Yutani craft in orbit with cryopods that could help get them off-planet without having to fulfill their contracts with Weyland-Yutani, Rain is forced to call upon Andy's programming as a synth to get them aboard the station. Upon arriving at the Romulus space station, Rain and her friends discover the horrors left behind by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation. Alien Romulus doesn't reinvent the wheel for the Alien franchise. It pulls heavily from every entry in the franchise to create homages and callbacks, offering up nostalgia and a mostly play-it-safe approach of centering the movie back into the horror thriller stylings of the original. Alien Romulus is both suspenseful, frightening, and full of disturbing and off-settling visuals. The story is simplistic and pretty cut and paste, and the characters are likewise, but they are given enough depth and believable motivation as characters to serve the story, with just enough emotional depth and connection to the leads to make the stakes feel real. Many faults of Scott's newer films like Prometheus and Alien Covenant showcase scientists and characters meant to be specialists in their fields making the dumbest decisions possible. Romulus flips this, showcasing blue-collar young adults, cocky and stupid to begin with, contending with the labyrinth and dangers of a failing space station as they must escape the threat of the aliens. Making dumb decisions believable while also giving characters creative moments to escape in ways that combine both believable amounts of luck and wit. Alvarez has proven himself to be quite adept with suspense and infuses it well in Romulus. With small attention to detail, Alvarez borrows certain moments and plot ideas from the other Alien films, while subverting expectations for how franchise-long tropes play out. Some critics have lampooned how many story elements have come from the other films in the franchise, and I agree Alvarez plays things a bit too safe and nostalgic at times. And Romulus doesn't introduce any new ideas to the series. In its defense though, the combination of subverted tropes mixed with intentional homages that, in my opinion, ultimately tie plot threads from across the series together in a much more satisfactory way than had been previously done, is what sets Romulus apart as one of the best in the franchise. It felt less like a case of Alvarez stealing from the others due to lack of originality, and more of a fans-loving attempt to make all of the films a tad more cohesive, while maybe going too far with mimicking parts he loved. Ultimately for me, while Romulus doesn't beat Alien or its sequel Aliens, it lands squarely beneath them as the third best entry. It should, if nothing else, certainly please longtime fans of the series. I give Alien Romulus 3 out of 4 stars.